I'm Courtney, host of Stars of the Morning Light. I hope you can hear me today. I'm happy that I got this new mic because I am quite tired this Friday morning. Very quiet, tired. It's been a long week, and I know it's been a long week for many of us. I will share um, and be transparent with everyone, as I always am. Um, And beloved patrons, I did this morning go get the zodiac reading. So you will be getting that later today, and it will go out to the rest of the public uh, probably the next few days for September 2023. So, hello, good day, good evening. I hope all is well with you. Good morning, Seeker of Truth, Shelley. If I end up not saying hello to those who come into the chat, please forgive me. Like I said, I'm a bit tired today, and I just need to kind of get through what I'm getting through. So I thank you all. Lori, I see you here. Thank you. And also, thank you for those who watched the show last night with Max. It was a great program, and I even have more questions for Max. I'll probably, hopefully, have him back on at some point, um, which I found out is actually not his true name, but he don't mind being called Max. Um, uh, because it was a lovely program, and I apologize that I was not here. To tell you the truth, it kind of escaped my mind. I went from belly dance class straight into a new part-time job that I'm doing, which is every night. And so it's also kind of a little bit as to why I'm tired. I'm getting adjusted to my new schedule. So I appreciate you all that were there and the moderators that were there. So I thank you. So happy Friday. Happy Friday. We can all just take a nice deep breath and relax. I did pull a card for us today, and we've seen this card a lot. We've seen this card a lot, and I understand why this card came out. Today's message actually semi-led by the Akashic post getting the zodiac readings from them. I asked, hey, I need to know what to talk about today because um, in truth, I'm not going to go back to star consciousness for a while. uh, you'll understand more as to why when I uh, explain my difficult week, let's say. So, good morning, everyone. Good day, good evening, whenever you catch this. Number 35, perception. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. I'm going to hold the card up. Perception. This is the sacred geometry of perception. The sacred geometry of perception. And I'm sure I will read that again. It's interesting that, I mean, all of my stuff will always come together. Um, but this morning, as I was kind of thinking about today before I went to the Akashic, um, I was reminded to show you something that my teachers taught. And they're kind of, they've taught it and they've asked those of us that have platforms to, and just hanging out with people to also teach it, and they have moved on. And it has been spoken about more so on like my Edgar Casey. Um, but I'm going to do it again. It came into my mind again this morning. And it is all based on perception. So why don't we do this, folks? With the enhancement of AI, with the enhancement of so much information and so much seeing and hearing, um, it it creates perception now, doesn't it? Creates perception. So they were teaching us how to cleanse ourselves of the AI, right? Of possible perceptions, what we take in that is not of us, right? Not of us, not of the beautiful stars that you are. So let's kind of activate a little bit of our energy. And you can watch this, you can watch as I do it and then do it yourself as I will continue talking. Um, we take our middle index finger, just hit it to your thumb a little bit. This is to just get your own energy kind of moving and going, right? Especially for me this morning, I'm very low energy this morning, which is not normal. I usually, lots of energy in the morning usually. And then we take that middle finger, oh, and we go to the top. So your eyes are round, right? Your eyes are round. Fun fact about Courtney, about myself. I had a very weird um, form, I guess, of stigmatism as a child, that my eyes didn't develop fully. I had oval eyes instead of round eyes as a child. And so I had to wear glasses um, for my eyes to get strong again and become round like everybody else's. They're still not fully round. I have more oval eyes. Yeah. Um, but your eyes, I'm sure, are round, unless the doctor told you you have oval eyes. Um, yeah, my eyes didn't develop well enough as far as what is, I guess, normal. So you take to the top of your eyeball, you can feel it. You can feel it. Bring it right into the middle of your eye. And I'm going to do one so you can know, you can see. We bring it from the top and then we bring it down and around, right? We bring it down past your ear. We're going down past the ear. Oh, down, down, back to the top or the bottom of your skull, top of your neck, and then out. Okay? I can do it. I'll do it again because I probably have a lot of hair in my way. This, as we've learned, right? As we've learned. Max, I know on the show last night, talked about the pineal, right? And the third eye is attached to the pineal. And it is. It is. I've never denied that. It is. Um, the pineal um, can get all credit up, right? This is why Dr. Ben's detox system is very good for it. It's good for all things, folks. Um, but it decruds the pineal. Remember, though, as I have kind of taught here in different variations, that it is not so much an attack on the pineal. That they do with the chemicals in our food and the chemtrails and all that stuff, right? No, what it really truly is our perception. Is our perception. And our perception, right, is actually decided, really, by your pituitary gland, which is back here. That is what we're actually cleansing of the AI. It's back here, folks. This back here works with the pineal, right? This back here works the pineal. Um, your pituitary gland is what takes in everything that you hear and see subliminally, consciously, choice wise, non choice, what have you. It is what decides how you hear it, how you see it, what goes to the subconscious, what remains in your frontal lobe, that is the feeling of the meaning of things in the psychology world. It is what makes those decisions. It is what you need as a young child to learn how to read and know your vocabulary and all your phonics and this and that. Mine is messed up. Mine's always been messed up. It might be from accidents. Um, I might just came messed up. Um, so I don't hear things correctly. I don't say things correctly. Um, there's a whole lot of things, but I have learned to work with it and not against it, and actually it has served me greatly. We talked a lot about this with Edgar Casey stuff because oftentimes those who have injuries that affect those two areas, they end up also having more psychic abilities, right? And it's not just Casey, it's not just me. There's been other psychics throughout time and space that have referred to the pituitary gland as needed to be activated. Mine is from different accidents. So let's do it again because it is what controls your perception. It is. What we take in through our eyes rolls back, connects with what we hear, and then goes all throughout the brain, and the pituitary gland decides what to do with it. So let's do it one more time. And you do it on both sides. I'm just showing you the right side. If I was going to do mine, which you know what? I'm just going to do mine with you. Let's do it. Let's go across. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, go up the head and down. Oh, let's do it one more time. I'll show you guys. So we start up here. We come down. You can pull on your eye. You know what I mean? It's not like it's going to hurt. Come around the ear. Oh, that temple. You can push on that temple. That carries so much, right? Around, around, and down to the base of the skull. Go up a bit. Oh, and bring it down and out. Do it on both sides, guys. Continuously do that. I periodically will remember to remind everyone to do that. It's going to be needed. It's going to be needed. Today's show, today's show, I entitled "Yeah, No, No, Yeah." Um, because who knows? I mean, I don't even know what the title of this would be. I know what I'm going to talk about, but you know, it is what it is. Uh, this morning I was kind of laughing. There's this Midwesterner comedian who's got a lot of subs on YouTube, and his stuff comes in my feed, and uh, it's a lot of jokes about the yeah no no yeah that we say, and I know what it means. But when I first moved to the South years ago, that's how we answer in the Midwest, the upper Midwest. Okay, that's how we answer things. Yeah, no, no, yeah. Um, I would do that down here, and I didn't know that because you know what you know, and if that's the culture that you grow up in, and everybody understands what you're saying, you don't ever have to think that people don't understand what you're saying. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. So when I first moved down here, I answer that way, and it gets and I had coworkers that would look at me weird if I went, "Yeah, no. Yeah, no." And whatever the question was or whatever was going on, um, they would look at me weird. I never even like I didn't know why they were looking at me weird, but then some actually said, "Well, which is it, Courtney? You just said yes and no at the same time. And I went, oh shit, they don't know what I mean. And it got really complicated when sometimes, before they asked me, before they helped me acknowledge that they didn't understand the words coming out of my mouth, um, I would say, like, let's say there was a question, I would say, yeah, no. And then they go, well, what? And I go, no, yeah. I mean, I would answer with, no, yeah. They don't know what I'm talking about. They didn't know what I was doing. So it is very distinctive for it is upper Midwest people. That is how we communicate, you know. And my accent was extremely thick when I first moved down here. Extremely thick. It still can come out, but I mean it was thick when I moved down here. We just say things oddly there. Um, and and when I would do that, the look on their face. No, I didn't know what the look on their face was for a good long period. I mean like damn near a year. Nobody mentioned what does that mean? No, yeah. Yeah, no. What does that mean, Courtney? Until somebody went, "What are you talking about? You just said yes and no at the same time." And that's when I got to, oh, I have to acknowledge that these people don't know what I'm saying. These people don't understand the yeah, no. So I entitled this that in a loving, kind of just comical way, because it is funny to watch, because I still do it. I still say yeah, no. And, my business partner Jamie sometimes looks at me and I'm like, oh shit, that's that look. She doesn't know what I mean. you know, she doesn't know what I mean. Okay, Courtney, clarify. You don't just say yeah, no, and expect people to understand what that means if they're not from that area, right? So, the reason I entitled it that is because this past week, it was a rough week. And I know it was a rough week for everybody. I mean, what the planets are doing, the energies on the planet, um, the energies collectively. I know the September Akashic reading, I was like, damn, they are not happy with us. Um, and that's why my week was difficult. I I was I I was disappointed with humanity. There you go. Most of the time when I am disappointed, it's not really an individual case by case basis. It's just humanity as a whole. Just disappointed with humanity. I go through that. I mean, I'm human. Um, do I have compassion for everyone? Yes, but there are times that it takes me a minute. And I mean, I was in full conversation with my guides, with the Akashic, crying. Um, uh, Archangel Michael and I are pretty tight. And usually when I'm crying like that, he comes to me like a brother. Um, sometimes he's like, get your shit together and, pull your bootstraps up, girl. Other times he comes to me like a brother and goes, yeah, we understand. So, I was very disappointed with humanity, just as a whole. Just, and for various reasons. I mean, many of reasons. And one of the things, though, that bothered me the most is I kind of just kept saying to the cosmos, like, I don't know if I can keep repeating myself. I really don't. I don't know if I can keep repeating myself. They clearly are not understanding the words that come out of my mouth. Yeah, no. No, yeah. And They're not. And it's okay. I mean, I only have maybe 30 people that watch this anyways. My patrons, on the other hand, because I'm able to guide and be with them in a more intimate way, they definitely are growing. They're definitely learning. They are learning the properties and the appreciation to community, to helping one another, to receiving, to manifesting. I mean, they're learning so much, and they're practicing and taking it in, and just growing and changing, and it's amazing to witness. So, to my beloved patrons out there, you have no idea what it was for me to witness you this week, because it really restored a lot. So, on top of um and when I say humanity as a whole, guys, I mean, I also, the second, the well, this is like the fifth job that I do, I guess. I don't know what I do. I started cleaning a gas station at night by my house, helps out with inflation, that sort of thing. You do what you gotta do, right? And they did not have a cleaning lady for like over 2 weeks, and it was like, the last holiday weekend of the summer that I started. I started that Monday night of Labor Day, which is funny. I start labor work on Labor Day. Um, you know, holy cow. My nose bled the next day, which I don't get nosebleeds because of all the chemicals I was using. And I'm wearing a mask, trust me. Just because, holy cow, humans, why be monsters and disgusting? Humans, right? So, I mean, it was a lot of things that by Wednesday I was just breaking down. Like, a lot of humans, they disregard being kind to themselves and others because they think it's, the next guy will do it. The next guy will do it. I'm often that next guy. So I mean, so by Wednesday, I was not here for the Edgar Casey study because I was crying and having to talk with celestial beings because I was a mess. Because I tend to be the next guy. It's what everybody does. It's how humans think. Oh, the next guy will do it. The next guy will do it. There is a very small pocket of next guys, and I am one of them, and it can get tiring. It can get very tiring. So yeah, holy hell, cleaning a gas station after no one's cleaned it for 2 weeks and a holiday weekend. But I appreciate the fact that the first night of work is traumatic and horrifying because then everything after that will be smooth sailing. So I mean, it was a mixture of everything. It was the mixture of knowing the masks that people wear. That's difficult. I want to acknowledge everybody that's coming in the chat. I did say at the beginning I would not be able to say hello to you individually, but welcome. Um, I actually wrote a big paper in college about the masks people wear, as I was wearing my own, to the point that I don't even remember what philosopher I was writing on because it was a small little obscure philosopher. He was really only known for that, and it was not Descartes. Uh, and as I was wearing my own mask, I'm writing this whole philosophy paper about people wearing masks. And it's interesting because in today's world we throw that word around, authenticity, a lot. Uh, and what's interesting is people might not understand to just be you, to just be yourself. It will Yourself will change moment to moment. Life is moment to moment, a series, a sequence of moments that you make decisions in. And your journey is your purpose. Your journey, your your life's journey is your spiritual journey. That's it. And so when we throw words around like authenticity, what I always find interesting is that as if people don't live that way because they believe they have to have it all figured out as to who they are before they can actually be living who they are without the mask. That's not possible. That's not possible. To know who you fully are and forever will be is not possible. You can have some of your core values, core thoughts, core principles that you live by, precepts. You can have concepts that you will most likely never let go of. You can have a vague understanding as to your purpose here. But life is a series of moments. So who you are and how you choose and how you decide in that moment, if you're without a mask, that's you being authentic, period. That's it. That's it. You don't have to go searching for your authenticity. You don't have to know who you fully are before you can live authentically. You just have to not wear a mask through all of those moments, through all of those series of moments. And that is what I came to understand also this week. Very difficult for people. Very difficult for people. I also came to understand, yeah, no, no, yeah. Nobody understands the words coming out of my mouth, apparently. This happens occasionally, which I get. I get. But that's why I was so, it was so heart-wrenching to me because then I get lost as to what do I do? Because I don't know how much I can keep repeating myself. Um, and I can only demonstrate. I can only demonstrate. So that, at times it gets a little bit difficult. Um, on top of it was difficult to also acknowledge again the amount of fear that people are holding on to and not letting go of. I mean, it's that in itself for me was traumatic to re the awareness was right in my face again. This is how much fear these people have. And it's hard for me because and I'm going to get into a lesson here for a moment, but I really do have to share this stuff because everybody's been going through something this week. Everybody has. So I'm kind of hitting all these pinpoints as to what I get to experience all at once, in case you can resonate with some of it, and to be transparent about why I was absent. I've told everybody there's gonna be times Courtney's just absent because I go away for a moment. You know, um, I was frustrated one day, very frustrated, um, with humanity. This is not to any one particular human. Um, I was very frustrated with humanity, and kind of in my pity pot a little bit, because I became fully aware that humans are choosing warriorship over healing. And even if and it's a beautiful mask. It's most profound mask that people can wear because all it is doing is masking fear. That's all it's doing. It's masking fear. Um, so it's very strong. It's very profound. It's very ingrained now. The warrior stance. And I've said it here before. I'm not going to change. I am consistent in this. That warrior only brings more wars. The world needs healing. The individual self needs healing. The timelines of all these individuals need healing. Healing of the karma, healing of the land, healing of self and others. That all warriorship is low frequency. All warriorship is low frequency. I will not change my position on that. And the reason I get frustrated, and then I have to let go, I have to release, and this is not, and I get a little bit on my pity party, right? Is because I know the work that it does take to lay down being a warrior and introduce true healing and a consistent healing and a consistent evolution ascension into higher frequency. I know what it takes. I know what it takes. And I know what it takes more so than even other people. And I'm not, that's the part that I'm like, I get on my pity party about. Um, as many of you have heard snippets, and I've referenced it, I was being raised as a child to be a psychic super soldier for right now. Um, not everybody's heard all of it, and how could you? I mean, it doesn't come out of my mouth that often. But I mean, very much raised, very much like on the show with Max last night, which thank you for watching. Um, I would never be able to teach somebody how to remote view because it was done to me very military, very, you can't leave your seat until this happens. I don't care if you have to go to the bathroom. As a child, it was done very forcefully for me to develop that skill. And it was all just so I could view my enemies. I was also told things like, well, it really should be women that are the killers because innately in women, we know we can just create more. You guys have no idea what I went through to become supposedly a super warrior, a super soldier for right now, for what we're about to head into. So not only do you have the society deprogramming, I had so much deprogramming. Do you know I was taught, and I would have to practice, I was taught, you know, how the natives would walk softly on the earth, right? Not make a sound. And so I would have to do that. But it was not, and I would have to walk in a circle, kind of keep doing this labyrinth thing in my backyard. Um, it was not taught to me because we should walk gently on this earth because she's beautiful and sacred. It was taught to me so I could sneak up on my enemies without making a sound. And if my dad heard me step on a twig, I had to restart. And then because I wanted to please him so much, I would practice on my own. I can't make a sound. I can't make a sound. Because I might have to sneak up on somebody one day. So to take all of that, so to take all of that kind of stuff, all of that kind of programming, and have to then release it, heal it, and then also flip it into, no, I should still walk gently on this earth because it has nothing to do with being a warrior. It has to do with she might not like me stomping on her. So and I'm speaking just for myself, when I have full awareness again as to people that are masking their fears in warrior stance, I get more frustrated. I get more disappointed, um, because I know the difference. And also, to tell you the truth, I kind of go, they're doing it and they don't even know what they're doing. They're doing it and they don't even know what they're doing. Because choosing that creates that. Choosing that creates that. It is not the bad guys. And that's what the September Akashic message was trying to teach you. It is not the bad guys. Here's the thing, folks, and if you can't take anything from where I'm about to head into, if you can't hear anything else, because I just disappointed and squashed the warrior within you, that is truly based out of fear. Fear, anger, pride. That's it. All 3D, carnal, low frequency. If you can't hear anything else, hear this. The bad guys, quote unquote, which once you see the all, you don't even see them as bad guys, but it's how I have to communicate it. The bad guys, quote unquote, here's the deal. All they do is present the narrative, the storyline. We are the ones that put the words on the page. All they are doing is presenting. They're not doing anything other than that. But we love to then run with it and write all the words on the page and write the most dramatic book. That's what we do, if you want to see it that way. That's the only way I can present it to the world, that for them to maybe understand the words coming out of my mouth. Yeah, no, no, yeah. So, I'm going to hold up the perception card again, and then I'm going to get started. Thank you for listening to me rant. Um, Number 35, perception. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real, the edges of what we perceive as real. Keep going. Most people are in the center of what they think is real. So you got to even get to the edges of what you perceive as real. Oh my gosh. And to take a good, hard, deep look at it. You know, if you go to the edges to what you perceive as real and then turn around and take a good, deep look at it, I don't know what you're fighting. You're actually fighting yourself. You're fighting your own fears masked with warriorship. It's the most craziest thing. I'm going to hold it up. Perception. My patrons right now are actually beginning to learn there actually does not need to be any concept of lack. We don't lack anything. They're doing it right now, learning as a community how to serve and help and manifest for each other. That will go right into individuality of learning to receive and manifest. So, I was actually guided to the Nag Hammadi and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Whoa, I don't even know if we've ever jumped into the Dead Sea Scrolls here. I don't know if we have. Um, I don't even know if we've... Hmm, I'm not sure if we have. So, I probably am going to butcher this name, the Zoroaster. Zoroaster. He was a ascended master as well. I will tell you, um, he emphasized more so going with the masculine, right? And we're going to be talking about that today. We are going to go to the Nag Hammadi, and then we're going to go into the Dead Sea Scrolls just a little bit. Thank you all who have come in. Yes, I was a little bit passionate there. Yes, I might have been a little forceful. Do know it's because when my heart hurts, it's because I can understand and see the all that us humans, even though I have compassion for everyone, um, it can still hurt. It can still hurt. So, we are going, so Zoroaster, which I'm gonna do a series on him yet. I'm not ready for that yet, to tell you the truth. I'm not. I have to do so much more. And so that'll be way down the, which is good. I'm never gonna have material to run out of. Ascended Master. And some do still follow. It's all about the flame. It's all about the flame. And yes, more emphasis on masculine energy. Okay. But we are in the Nag Hammadi at, there we go. I hold it up. This is what I read out of, folks. There you go. We're on page 582. Actually, I don't know if I need to back it up. I'm going to actually back it up to such thin pages. This is his response to the luminaries' revelation. The luminaries, the lights, the shiny ones, the light ones, the star beings, the star consciousness, the ones that are of divine. So this is him in his own words. As for me, I became bold and said, I am still wondering about the triple powered, invisible, perfect spirit, how it exists for itself, even the cause, for then all and of those that truly exist. What is the place of that one, and of what sort is it? So he's asking, he's saying, I became bold and asked the cosmos about the triple powered, invisible spirit. You know, what exactly is it? What is the cause of it? Because remember, to change effects, change the cause, know the cause, be the cause, create a new cause to create new effects. Cause and effect, we covered it a lot. And after I said these things, I was greatly glorified, and they set me down and departed. They sat me down, and they wanted to talk. The virgin light came before me and brought me to, oh man, let me see if I wrote this down. No, I didn't. Protophaeus, the great male perfect mind. So the virgin light, the great light, right? Sat him down and said, and this is from the Great Male Perfect Mind. We're going to be talking about this. There I saw all of them as they dwell in unity. I united with them all and blessed in the Calypto Eon, the virginal Barbello, and the invisible spirit. I became all perfect and was empowered. I was inscribed in glory and sealed. There I received a perfect crown. That's how that section ends. So first he asked the question, what's up with this triple powered invisible spirit? I said, all right. So the virgin spirit sat him down. The masculine great mind approached, and he then got to sit amongst them in unity, glorified in unity, and he received a perfect crown. And if you see images of him, sorry, I'm looking at all my books, but I'm not going to look for an image right now. He is shown with like a crown, right? So this is Rooster's descent from the eons and the recording of revelations. So this is another little section. I came forth to the perfect individuals. All of them were questioning me, listening to the majesty of knowledge, rejoicing and receiving power. When I again came down to the self-generated eons, I received a true image, pure, worthy of perception. I came down to the ionic copies and came down hence to the atmospheric realms. I wrote 3 wooden tablets and left them as knowledge for those who would come after me, the living elect. Then I came down to the world and put on my image. Because it was uninstructed, I empowered it and went about preaching the truth to everyone. Neither the angelic beings of the world nor the archons saw me, for I nullified an multitude of disgraces that brought me near death. There's a lot said right there, isn't it? So, I came forth to the perfect individuals. Let's go back to what was just read. So at some point he was exalted, glorified, brought up, presented in unity, all of this stuff. This is him now saying the different levels and where he came and how he then came to the atmospheric realms. The eonic copies. And remember it said self-generated eons. This is all pertaining to us here on the earth. I came forth to the perfect individuals. Later he will refer to them as the living elect. All of them were questioning me, listening to the majesty of knowledge, rejoicing and receiving power. When I again came down to the self-generated eons, I received a true image, pure, worthy of perception. I have to go back to our card for a moment, the Sacred Geometry deck. Worthy of perception. So I have to ask you, the perception that you are taking in, day out, subconsciously, consciously, day in and day out, As we, at the beginning of this, were cleansing our pituitary gland of all of the AI, how much of it is worthy? What are we seeing and taking in that is actually not just worthy, pure, true image, pure, worthy of perception? I'm going to read the sacred geometry card again of perception and hold it up. Number 35, perception. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity. What's worthy out there that you are witnessing? Moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Maybe that's what we can do now as I hold the image up. When we see something, hear something, known or unknown, onto us, can we maybe ask, is this a true image? Is this pure? Is this worthy perception? That is the sacred geometry of it. I came down to the ionic copies and came down hence to the atmospheric realms. The copies. I love it. The copies. Oh my goodness. Just world after world after world, cycle after cycle, copy after copy. I mean, seriously, we can just write a whole new, we can just not be a copy. Came to, anyways, that's my own thing. Y'all can maybe hear that or not hear that. I don't know if people are there yet to understand that. Um, I find it humorous. Um, I find it humorous because you have to. You have to. I wrote 3 wooden tablets and left them as knowledge for those who would come after me, the living elect. Then I came down to the world and put on my image. So, came down, he wore some kind of meat suit, put on the image. Your meat suit is your image. You chose that image, by the way. We've been covering that with Edgar Casey's stuff. You chose that image. I chose this body. You guys chose that body for yourself. You choose the body that you're in to help you in that journey of life that is your spiritual life. Your journey is your spiritual journey. And this body is to help you with that. So big, tall, blonde, brunette, pigment of whatever, you chose it. You chose it. So he put on his meat suit because it was uninstructed, which he is talking about the world at that time. Like there was not structure. There was not unity in that structure. There was not structure in the land. Okay? I empowered it. I gave the land structure and the people, those living elect, and went about preaching the truth to everyone. Neither the angelic beings of the world, so neither any of the angels of the world, good, bad, and different, because there is no such thing, nor the archons saw me. For I nullified the multitude of disgraces that brought me near death. Please take that in, folks. The angelic beings, good or bad, nor the archons even saw me. as I'm teaching all these beautiful people and putting some kind of structure to the chaos. There's either chaos or there's order. There's either chaos or there's order. It is our choice to choose order. Order and balance is actually what governs us, not the chaos, but we can't get past the chaos because we are still in low frequency thinking, low frequency consciousness. So he brought some structure to the living elect, the humans, the land, but none of the archons or even the angels, angelic beings, good or bad, it doesn't matter, didn't see him because of these exact words. For I nullified, null, doesn't happen, it's nullified. We all know what that word is. A multitude, over and over and over again, many, many times, of disgraces that brought me near death. I find that so interesting that that's the term. So anything that could have brought him, anything that brought him near death, disgraces of this world. Disgraces. Wow. We don't even use that term like that anymore, do we? Even though they are a disgrace. A not grace. I'm going to read a little bit more. I hope everybody is well in the chat. Thank you for coming. I am not individually saying hello to people today. I'm just doing my job. Actually, I wonder... Sorry, I was jumping into Dead Sea Scrolls to see if that's where I wanted to go next, but I'm going to stay where I'm at. So this is Zoroaster issues the call of awakening. But the irritant multitude I awakened, saying. So the people that weren't listening, understand you are alive, the holy seed of Seth. Do not be disobedient to me. Awaken your divine part as divine, and empower your sinless elect soul. Mark the passing of this world and seek immutable ungenderlessness. The Father, just hear me out, the Father of all these invites you as he awaits you, and even when you are ill-treated, he will not abandon you. This is going to say some stuff, as I said at the beginning. Zoroaster was much more trying to emphasize be of the masculine mind. But as we know as well, so many other groups, like the Scene that is also in these scriptures, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, and throughout even, let's say, biblical or even Abrahamic, which they don't necessarily always approach it, we know that wisdom is described as feminine. Mind, though, can be described as masculine. We're going to be talking about that today. So I just wanted to say that for a moment so we know where we're going when we hear what he says. So hear me out. He's saying, all of you that are not there yet, wake up. Listen to the words I'm saying. Oftentimes when Ascended Masters would say, obey me, it's because exactly what he said just a minute ago, or what was in the last section. They were really trying to bring order to things. Like, please follow what I'm saying, because you all are, what is this? You all are very carnal, and you're no more than animals. I mean, some of them even say that, you're no more than animals right now. So when they were trying to say, please obey me, it's not in that dictatorship as it has been drawn for us in our weak perception of our reality. Um, as in this dictator obey me aspect. It was really because back then there was absolutely no structure. Hence, why so many cycles and nations and Atlantises, plural, have fallen. Because structure and order and balance, is actually laws that humans need to understand in order to manifest and form out of the formless. They need to understand it, and all can be on to them, right? If they don't understand order and balance, how would they feed 5,000 with 2 fish when all you really have to do is understand the order of cells multiplying? Okay. So, anyways, I just want to stress that because it's been abused and misused in the context that it really is. Um, it just really is. And when people hear that in today's world of, I don't have to obey anyone, they're actually not telling you to obey them in that right. They're trying to say, if you can get to where I am, because his next line is this: awaken your divine part as divine, and empower your sinless elect soul. So he's saying, I have these teachings and structure and balance and order to give to you so you can awaken the divine that is within you, that divine aspect and part that is in you, and empower your sinless soul. And that, to me, has been the hiccup of the human race for centuries. Actually, also in other cycles. Your soul is not full of sin. Your soul is not full of sin. It never has been. It never has been. So that dogma is what controls people. Is what keeps people fearful. But if we awaken to the divine within and know that you are actually without sin, whew, rock on with yourself, right? Mark the passing of the... I read that and I don't need to go further. Do not baptize yourself with death, nor entrust yourselves to things inferior to you as if a superior thing. Flee the madness and the bondage of femininity, and choose yourselves the salvation of masculinity. Remember, I am going to speak about that. I'm going to keep reading, though. You have not come to suffer. You have not come to suffer. Rather, you have come to escape your bondage. Release yourselves, and that which has bound you will be nullified, as if it never happened. Save yourselves so that one may be saved. I'm going to keep reading, and of course I'll go back. The kind Father has sent you the Savior and empowered you. Why do you hesitate? Seek when you are sought. When you are invited, listen. For the time is short. Do not lay astray. Great is the eon of eons of the living ones, and the punishment of those who are unconvinced. Many bounds, sorry, many bounds around you, surround you. Flee quickly before the destruction reaches you. Behold the light. Flee the darkness. May you not be led astray to destruction. There's a whole, so much said in such little sections. Let's go back. Do not baptize yourself with death, nor entrust yourselves to things inferior to you as if superior things. Actually, I don't want to explain that. I'm just going to read that slower again, and that is to each its own, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. I'll read that again. Do not baptize yourself with death, nor entrust yourselves to things that are inferior to you as if they are superior things. Flee the madness and bondage of femininity, and choose for yourself the salvation of masculinity. Now, this is where people, every ascended master has its own semi theme. Buddha, it was the suffering of the people. Everybody's got something, right? His Zoroaster's is very much more focused on the masculine. Now that is reasons. There's two big main reasons for that, okay? One is the sun, S-U-N, the representation of masculine. I'm not going to ever deny that about this. He is a fire. This is actually not still a very small sect of religion that their symbol is fire. It's not a cross. It's not anything. It's not gonna any model anything. It's a fire, right? That's their symbol. So it is S-U-N, that masculine aspect. We will never leave that alone here. S-U-N, because y'all know I'm about the sun. But it is also masculine. And he's saying lay down the femininity. The reason why is going back to the structure that was needed, right? Masculine mind, because he also said, as we read before, the great male perfect mind. Okay? Hear me out. Because no, do we let go of the femininity? No, but there needs to be balance, right? The great male perfect mind is the father that all people keep talking about, that source energy, that creation, that, that the all-knowing, as people might say, however you want to say it, right? The great of greats, whatever you want to say. That is who he's referencing. That is more masculine in their thought, in his thought process, in that energy. The reason why is more, and we tend to refer to the mind as masculine, but wisdom as feminine. So at this moment, he's trying to say, you really need to have logic, reason, listening, see it that you can get out of this bondage. It is actually very black and white. You can choose to relieve and release yourself from bondage, and then all will be null and void. He's really trying to emphasize it really is just the power of your mind. And he's saying lay down the feminine aspect that gets us more into our feelings, which can lead us astray. And I'm not against feminine aspect, right? I'm feminine. It is, we need the feminine and the balance within. That is why she is represented as um, wisdom in most cultures. Same as like the Holy Spirit is feminine. That's why it's always referenced as I'm sending you a helper. I'm sending you wisdom. I'm sending, you see what I'm saying? She is, the Holy Spirit in that terms is actually more feminine. The first spirit, as he mentioned, Barbello, the virginal Barbello, as we covered in many videos back when. All feminine energy, right? Him in this moment, Zoroaster is saying, see things logically. Look at your perception. Take, as we held up this card again, take a good, deep, long look at what you are perceiving and logical reasoning. That is what he's trying to say. And he will always say that. He is way more of the masculine. So it is because he is of the sun, S-U-N, and because of that. So we would also have to put it into context of time. Or, you know what I mean, context of what was happening during those days. And remember, folks, I will always say this, I've never changed. Knowledge plus experience equals understanding. The more understanding we develop by that equation, knowledge and experience, the more wisdom we obtain. It will not change. That is the equation. If you need to put it into a mathematical equation, that is it. Rinse and repeat. Knowledge and experience equals understanding. The more understanding you do with rinse and repeat over and over again is the wisdom you obtain. Why wisdom is more feminine is because of that equation. Knowledge is can be very black and white, very masculine, right? Experience is also attached to our feelings. So it has to have more feminine attributes. So the two have to come together. The two have to come together. We have to quote unquote walk in each other's shoes to even understand, to even have any comprehension, to have any other kind of understanding. And the more you are able to experience and gain knowledge, because you can read all the books you want, folks. You can read all the books you want. And that is the very beginning of this. I was talking about my disappointment with humanity, that I had to go through that this week, right? And it was more no, yeah, yeah, no. And I was saying because people are not understanding the words out of my mouth, which is fine. It's because they're not experiencing it. You can't understand by just reading or listening to someone. You have to experience it. The fifth remembrance. The fifth remembrance. The fifth dimensional remembrance. As you all are here to remember, my actions are my true belongings. They are the ground on which I stand. I'm going to hold that up. Ooh, you can't even tell that I'm holding it up with the glare. right? That is from the Bhagavad Gita. My actions are my true belongings. They are the ground on which I stand. We have to have actions. We have to have actions. We have to have experiences to even remotely gain understanding of what we read, hear, see, think, obtain true perception, pure, worthy perception, right? So the femininity has to be there. It has to be there because you can't have wisdom without experience, and you can't have experience without emotions as well, right? So, moving back to what he has said, you have not come to suffer. Fuck, I don't know. You have not come to suffer. I don't even know what to do with that anymore. I've said it 1,000 times. You have not come to suffer. Rather, you have come to escape your bondage. And that's why I struggle, is that I see nothing but people choosing to stay in bondage. It's absolutely mind-boggling. You have not come to suffer. You haven't. That is actually not. Empower your sinless elect soul. Your elect soul did not come to suffer, by the way. And there's no sins within you that are keeping you from leaving the bondage. Just release yourselves. That which has bound you will be nullified. Save yourselves so that one may be saved. If one is saved, that one can demonstrate to the next. That is what my patrons are doing right now. It's fabulous watching what they're doing. It is unbelievable watching these people. It's amazing. They actually give me a lot of hope. I love my patrons. Save yourselves so that one may be saved. That is one another, and that is one. The all. The kind Father has sent you a Savior. He is talking about himself. They all are referenced as saviors because they're trying to save you from, put it into context, save you from the corruption, from the cannibalism, from the killing, from the warriorship, from the warrior mind, from the carnal, fearful, 3D, low frequency consciousness. So they're all referenced as saviors, right? Because they're literally trying to save you from your own doing. And empowered you. Why do you hesitate? I don't know. You answer that question. Why do you guys hesitate? I don't know. I can't even answer that. I don't know. Seek when you are sought. When you are invited, listen. For the time is short. Do not be led astray. Do not be led astray. Every single one of them have talked about false prophets. Every single one of them talks about the corruption, all that we know, right? Great is the eon of the eons of the living ones. The punishment of those who are unconvinced. So that is also one of the best ways to put it. People are just unconvinced. God, how simple of a word is that? But yet vastly difficult apparently. Many bonds surround you. Flee quickly before destruction reaches you. Behold the light. I guys, that's the part that If anything, I guess this is my second. If you don't hear anything in the messages, my last one that I said, this is the second one. Behold the light. That's it. Focus on the light. Focus on the divine. Steadfast, focused on the divine. Build that trust. Flee the darkness. May you not be led astray to destruction. What we see, what we hear, what we allow our perceptions to be, is of course what will be. I'm not going to read all of what I was going to do in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but I am going to go to 383 real quick. For this lovely line, 383 out of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Seek the truth. Do not let, and then there's always a gap, deceive you. You can fill in the gap if you want. Then there's another gap. Without a command from God, do not let carnal understanding make you err. So, all the people that have ears to hear and eyes to see, seek the truth. Do not let blank fill it in, folks. Do not let deceive you. Without a command from God, do not let carnal understanding make you err. That seems to be the only, that seems to be the what people are still living in, is cardinal understanding. The low frequency. Fear, anger, pride, death, shame, guilt. All of them. Low frequency, 3D. Cardinal understanding. Seek the truth. Do not let deceive you. So that is the thing though, folks, is knowledge, experience equals understanding. Cardinal understanding. We can be so much more if we focus on the divine within and the divine above, the divine, and empower our sinless elected soul. I will leave you with this. Thank you for coming. Max, I believe I saw you pop in. Thank you for the video last night. Everyone really enjoyed it. So thank you. And I've not been able to say hello to everybody in the chat today. This has been quite a long message, and it's because I had a long week. I will leave you with this. And I guess this is what I am going to repeat from now on, because I did turn to the Akashic and I said I cannot continue to repeat myself. That's kind of how I left being an English teacher, by the way, folks. It was not so much, I mean, it was the establishment, it was the, uh, the dogma of the school systems. Never the kids, never the kids. But what I really, after a few years, it was a matter of I can't keep repeating myself because conscious levels and attention spans are that low. I can't. I physically was going to go insane. I'm kind of touching upon that again now. If I repeat myself because it comes out in the flow, then groovy. But I'm not going to consciously choose to continuously repeat myself. Especially when you can just go back and watch. But this is supposedly what I'm going to continue to repeat. I just got this morning. So this is for all of us. Open awareness, full trust, guided hands. That's it. That's my steps for everybody now. Open awareness. You know, the term even awaken has been infiltrated, right? Um, open. Open awareness. And that's for self. That's for self. That's for all. That is to also, with the next step, release the mask. Full trust. I've talked about trust a lot. Complete full trust is in self, others, and the divine. Those three parts have to be there for complete full trust. And it's so funny. I'll say this. Do you know what I say to the divine? I turn to the divine and I say, trust in me as I trust in you. Mm-hmm. All the time. I started doing that years ago. Years ago. Because why should I expect the divine to show up for me if I'm not showing up for myself and others? I still, to this day, I say trust in me as I trust in you. And as I was building the trust in them, they were building the trust in me. I was showing up for myself, building the trust of myself to myself. My sinless elected soul was tapping into the divine within my beautiful flame by showing up for myself and trusting that I will do as I say I do. As I have accountability to all, to all, to the all. So every day I say that. I say a few things every day. That's one of them. Trust in me as I trust in you. Open awareness, full trust, guided hands. That means the hands of the divine to guide you, and for you to eventually, hopefully, one day, guide others. Because when one can break free of the matrix, they can demonstrate it to another, and to another, and to another. The one. Open awareness, full trust, guiding hands. There you go, folks. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely weekend, or whenever you catch this on the flip side. Thank you for joining this lovely day. Yeah, no, yeah. Maybe you can go out there and experience some, gain the understanding, walk in somebody else's shoes for that. It's always a blessing when we can do that. It is seriously always a blessing. So, I love you all dearly. Have a great one, beautiful stars. Shine, shine, shine. Open awareness, full trust, guiding hands. Bye, guys.